Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest again today with the awesome yellow and black round glasses is Karl Kesel, whose Impossible Jones Volume 2 Ultra Cool Collector's Edition is kickstarting now. As anybody who listens to our normal weekly episode has known for a couple of weeks now, because we've been plugging it with our weekly Kickstarter plugs.
Oh, well,
Because it
thank you
looks
so much.
awesome. It looks awesome. This is the hardcover of the team ups. Am I getting that
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And team ups is what we talked to you about the last time. Ooh, are we up to the just? Oh yes, we are. We're getting our retina burning hot pink ribbon bookmark.
Oh, easy. And other things too.
Yeah. Oh, Connor Hughes pinup is like
That's what we're doing now. Yeah,
it's
that's what we're looking
it's
for.
$819 away.
So
$819 for the Connor Hughes pinup. So when people are listening to this tomorrow, we might already be there. And if we're not, just go buy a
there's always
buy
going
a
to be more
hardcover.
stretch goals. Yeah,
Right.
always going to be more stretch
Yeah.
goals.
Carl never fails on having more stretch goals. I think I initially backed the comic that we talked about last time at like $14 and wound up at 90 because of stretch goals.
Well, I mean that doesn't change your price. You
No.
just get more for
No, no,
your
no, 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 no,
dollars.
no, no, because you added like a t-shirt and
Oh well, then you've
and
got
a
to go in and
bonus
add that on.
cover.
But that's
Right.
up to you. That's up to you.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I did. Yeah, no, no, no. I'm sorry. Let me be more clear to our listeners. I didn't add up at 90 because Carl forced me to add things on. I wound up at 90 because stretch goals unlocked such cool, amazing things for me to purchase that it's like Elsa Chartier t-shirt? Yes. Terry
Yes.
Moore cover? Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I think when we were talking to you about it, I was at like the physical cover, single physical
Mhm.
cover
Yeah.
level.
14. That sounds about what it was. Yeah.
Right. And I wound up with the Terry Moore alternate cover, the Adam Hughes hero poster, the Imp Angel, that was part of it already.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Uh
But the
did
the
I
T-shirt would have been an add-on. Yeah.
Yeah, the t-shirt was an add-on. Yeah. Yeah. Just but they were beautiful add-ons.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you very much. I mean,
And
I mean, I
actually,
was.
I was going to bring that up because that's something that I don't actually see a ton of Kickstarter people do. I like the add-ons. There's a free thing, and I think it's good to have add-ons that are just, hey, we got
Yeah.
past this, you get this thing for free. But what you do that doesn't happen as much is there are some add-ons where there's like a free thing and a special thing unlocked that's optional.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think that's a cool process. How'd you come up with that one?
Oh, I
Or
don't
was it
know.
just
Stumbled into it. Most of what I
double?
do on Kickstarter is I stumble into these things. I mean, really, what it comes down to is I go as a fan. What do I want? I want that
Right.
Elsa Chartier T-shirt. I mean, when she sent through that design, I was just going, that is such a beautiful, simple design. I could just see it on a T-shirt. Even
I think I thought for 35 seconds maybe before dropping the money on that.
Yeah, but even David Hahn, who he goes, I'd like to see an Impossible Jones T-shirt with my art on it. He goes, but I have to admit that Elsa's art is great for a T-shirt.
I mean, Elsa's I mean I hate like ranking artists because different artists are different and whatnot, but there are a handful of artists that like you just find yourself looking at and going, wow. And Elsa's always been one of them for me.
And she
Um,
like just started drawing like just a
yeah,
number of
no,
years ago.
when you learn her story, it's like you want to pull your hair out.
I know.
It's
I
like,
had spent my whole
wait,
life to get here, and look, you did
you
it like
did
in
basic
weeks.
drawing, but no comics until like a year before your first amazing comic.
I know. So
I mean, I remember the first time that I talked to her when I asked, how much do you plan out like page stuff? and she talked about, she talked about how initially she just went by gut, but now she was really specific. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that Infinite Loop was your gut?
Yeah, yeah,
Your layout decisions in that book are brilliant. That was your gut.
I know.
You should have been doing this job a long time ago, Elsa.
Some people just got it.
Yeah.
There's just some people that got it, and she's got it.
Yeah. Well, you have character design down. I love Impossible Jones. For anybody who has missed it previously, you want to introduce us to Impossible Jones?
Sure. I mean, the high concept is, she is a thief. She gets superpowers and is mistaken for a hero and decides to run with it. But she has not given up and has no intention of giving up her thieving ways, especially now that she has powers. But the great thing about it is cops aren't after her. Cops are her friends now. And if she goes into a jewelry store and asks to see their security setup, they're happy to show it to her because she's one of the city's protectors. And so the series is, at least at times, about her juggling, that walking that fine line. So
Well, and in my reading, she seems to. I mean, she hasn't given up the thievery, but she's also having trouble like being a bad guy. Like the
I
more she
mean,
gets
she's
sucked into being a hero, the more.
and I do think there's I mean, we do try to set up each issue so that her choices are narrowed to the point where she really has to do the right thing,
Right.
um, or she would not be a sympathetic character.
Right.
I mean, she's not a bad person. I wouldn't call her an evil person, but I do think she is one of those people who gets a kick out of doing the wrong thing and taking something that isn't hers.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, yeah, as I'm sure I told you before, part of the inspiration for her was I'd written Harley Quinn. And I
Okay.
really enjoyed that sort of high energy female
Yeah.
character. And I wanted to do another character like that. Although I think Impossible Jones, as many characters do, she had took on a life of her own.
Oh,
And her,
absolutely.
her personality is actually very different from Harley's. But the reason I bring this up is when I was writing Harley, one of the problems I had with the character is she's a murderer. I
Right.
mean, she has killed people. She's killed lots of people. And I find that very hard to, you just have to ignore that, or I lose all sympathy for her.
Right.
So it was very important for me that Impossible Jones, I don't want to say she does victimless crimes, but she at least is not killing people.
She can at least put it in her head as less victim-ish crimes.
Right. Yeah. And, I mean, she's stealing from people who deserve to be stolen
Right.
from,
I think that's like an important, I mean, if we want to get into details, we can always figure out who various victims are, etc. Um, but there's something different from the Robin Hood type character that at least in their head is stealing
Right.
strictly from somebody who can be stolen from. And maybe it turns out that, that means that they're mean to the maid or they blame somebody else.
Yeah,
Yes, it can have consequences. And sometimes it's important to explore those consequences, but that's
exactly.
somebody who's not like inherently bad. They're thrill-seeking and or misguided heroes and or
Hmm.
the Robin Hood,
Yeah, I
the
think Robin Hood's a very good analogy
right.
comparison. Sure. Sure.
For that matter, she reminds me of like the halfway point between Catwoman and Paul Tobin and Colleen Hoover's Bandette.
I take that as a huge compliment because I love Bandette.
Oh,
Um,
Bandette's amazing. I
Bandette is
just talked
great.
to Paul Tobin. He's fantastic.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. So yeah, yeah, and I do think there is there is an aspect of Impossible Jones that I did not realize when I started, but is kind of Catwoman like, and that is a kind of awareness of everything that's around her,
Well,
and
go go ahead and
no, I
finish.
don't know what
I
else I
mean
was
to
going to say.
interrupt you. I mean, even as you were describing her, I was thinking, in a lot of ways, this is like later day Catwoman, where she's as much Batman's ally as she is a thief, only flipped. where Catwoman is still viewed as a villain by the public.
Right. Right.
Impossible Jones is viewed as the hero, even though she's the hero because of some of her friends and because it's advantageous to her.
Right.
But she's never going to give up. Catwoman's never going to give up being a thief.
Right.
That's something Bruce just has to come to terms with.
Right.
Some of the really fun comics come out of, I don't know if you've read recent Batman, but the whole Gotham War was, she trained all the henchmen to be thieves, and Batman's sitting there going, but they're still breaking crimes. And she's like, yeah, but they're not killing people. They're stealing from rich people.
Which Bruce happens to be one of them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I've not read those comics. I kind of know what's going on, but I haven't
Right.
read those comics. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I mean it is that, I mean, because superheroes in general, they're so fun, but it's easy to take them in so many different directions. So it's fun
Yeah.
to play around the edges of, oh, I saved the town. Let me just swipe that Rolex from you, Mr. Mayor. Key to the city? Sure, that's a nice watch.
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's a fun character to write, great character for David to draw. I think he draws her wonderfully, and I enjoy inking David's work. So I'm very happy with doing this book.
So what's your most exciting part about this particular Kickstarter? Because this is the collection. You've finished these stories, though I think you've got is there one new story in this one, or
There's 15 new pages.
15 new pages. Okay.
15 new pages. We're actually the one of the earlier books, the Impossible Jones team up with Captain Lightning. I was never happy with that ending. We had we only had a certain number of pages, and I rushed the ending and squeezed it into one page. And in this book, we're throwing that page out. We're putting 3 pages in instead.
Oh, nice.
So we're actually and I don't
throwing it out, or is it like a bonus? This is what it used to be. This is what it is now.
If you get the old comics, you'll see it, but I don't plan to put the original version in this collection.
Well, I didn't know if because sometimes collections have the process pages, and
right. Well, we might. I have not. I have not done the back matter stuff. I think at this point I'm going to have so much
that I get to. You can't get everything in. And that's how you get us to buy the special artist edition 10 years from now. You give us more process stuff.
Well, I would tell you, at some point, I would love to do
process stuff.
I would love to do a book called The Art of Impossible.
Yeah.
And have the Adam Hughes and the Terry Moore covers and the Bill Sienkiewicz covers and some of their sketches that I have leading up to them, and the missing pages and David's character sketches. That's down the road. That's kind of like my bucket list. Someday, check that off the list.
But yeah, what's been most exciting about this project?
Well, I think the thing I'm most excited about is the Arthur Adams fold out. Art is, as we speak, drawing this wonderful fold out, which will be Impossible Jones and the major players in the Impossible Jones universe. So, I love
that you're doing a fold out in a trade paperback. That doesn't.
No, this is hardcover.
Okay.
This is
even better. A fold out in a hardcover. A fold out in a collection is what I meant.
Yeah.
You don't see many fold outs in collections. My hat's off to you, sir.
So, well, I have to say, years ago now, many years ago, I was having dinner with Ron Randall, and he supports himself through Kickstarters too right now with his Trekker book. And we always compare notes, and he has an idea and I swipe it from him. I have an idea, he swipes it from me. And we were talking at one point about hardcover collections of stuff we put out. And I said, well, you got to put something in it that almost makes it impossible for people to resist. And I said, what would be so good that I would buy a hardcover collection of books I'd already read? And almost instantly I thought, an Arthur Adams fold out. And the fold out part of it was very important. And the idea that it was Arthur Adams was also very important for some reason. And like I said, a lot of times my decisions are based on how the fanboy in me reacts to something.
That's not a bad way to, And
when the fanboy in me thought Arthur Adams fold out, I thought I would buy that book.
It sounds like you're blessed to be your own audience.
better or worse, for better
And
or
I
worse.
don't mean just like, hey, I get to entertain myself, but as it turns out, you're similar enough to people that you can also reach out to that you entertain yourself and they're entertained. Um,
Hopefully, that's the plan. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, for me, I have fallen in love with hardcover. If I love something, I want the hardcover edition. I
Yeah.
want the one that is oversized, and it doesn't have to be like the huge artist editions, but like
No, no.
DC absolute size is like my favorite size
I do like the absolutes. I don't.
for
I've got
for
a
a
whole bunch
book
of
that I
absolutes
love.
up here. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see them. Sandman, Swamp
I ha
Thing,
I have
League
the
of
Sandman
Extraordinary
ones.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the absolute editions. That is some of my very favorite stuff too.
Right. So
I
if I love something, I want it bigger than a comic book page, and I want as much process and like oral history type stuff jammed in as they're willing to put.
Yeah, well, and that's what this book is. That's why I call it the ultra cool collector's edition. Because I really, at the end of the day, I want people to know, really be able to see this is what was happening behind the scenes in all of this. I want it
Right.
to be really comprehensive. And even at this point, the book is right now planned for 252 pages.
Nice.
And if we need another 4 pages for back matter for behind the scenes, I would do that. I would do that. So, and then it becomes
The
256 pages.
the host just got really big smile and double thumbed up.
Well, I mean, there's just so much to cover. I mean, like, right now doing the campaign, every day I'm putting together 2 or 3 images that I'm putting onto social
Right.
media, and I'm going, these are going to be like lost forever. And not that they're great works of art, but to me, they're interesting parts of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And so, the thought goes through my head, maybe I can have a double page spread of how the Kickstarter went, that sort of thing.
So this is a tangential to that. Do you know Nick Susanis at all?
I can't say the name rings a bell,
He
but
did a fantastic book as his doctoral thesis at Columbia called Unflattening. Um,
okay.
that I always describe as if if Scott McCloud's understanding comics is comics 101, Unflattening is like the 500 level class.
Okay.
Though in a recent thing that I experienced, I also discovered that it's entirely an allegory for education in general, which also makes sense to me.
Okay.
But so this week he was part of a thing where they were working on access to comics. So they were working with a group that did lots of stuff to create access for the blind, and they did
Oh,
three separate recordings of a stretch of Unflattening, which is not it's not like panel by panel, so it's not even like an easy comic to just turn into audio.
yeah.
Um, but one was done by like a professional group that does like the descriptive movies.
Right. Right.
There are descriptive movies out there where they'll tell you
Mhm.
what action's going on. One was done by I think another cartoonist, but certainly somebody who knew Nick already and
Okay.
had writing chops of her own. And she did it more as I want to capture the essence of this. So
Okay.
not necessarily describe each and every detail as much as try to, get the words in, but also for the page. And then Nick did one. And with Nick's, he also, like, I remember, he'd tell the story about a decision that he made on the page. And I was sitting there going, and I was pleased when the blind people somewhat agreed. The actual descriptive one, not an easy listen, but like hers had enough poetry to it that it's like, oh, I'm really getting the feel of this. And then Nick's was like the director commentary track.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I love in a good, well put together collection
Right.
is that you get hopefully the best version of the comic that's ever been put out,
Right.
oversized, everything sharp, good paper, blah, blah, blah. But then at the back, you've got your director's commentary. You've got the silly stories. You've got the
Right.
how-tos, it's
Yeah.
something that like the first Saga hardcover,
Mhm.
they decided to do it as a letter page because they got in the letter about, so how does a comic come together? And they never published that letter because they're like, when they started talking about it, they had like 36 pages. And
Yeah,
like, that will
exactly.
be, we will answer the one letter at the end of the first hardcover,
Yep. Yep.
you know? So what's your favorite? I mean, you're a comics geek. That's one of the things I love about you. What's your favorite back matter to get when you're reading? You know, the last time we were talking about the Steve Canyon um
Yeah.
hardcover. What's your favorite stuff to get along with comics?
Well, I mean, I really do enjoy the back matter, the behind the scenes stuff, and I think I specifically like to see the ideas that it didn't make it to the page.
Okay.
What got thrown out and why was it thrown out? To me, that's really interesting.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
so this character used to have a striped costume,
Right.
and then we decided that was and it was a good choice that you thought that was a bad choice.
Right.
But that's the sort of stuff I really enjoy is what didn't get used.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
it is interesting to see how things you know develop to what got in the book.
can you think
So
of a good example of that? Because I know I've seen it some, but we don't get to see that. I think so many creators are like afraid to show the stuff that
gee,
discarded.
I have to say I cannot think of something right away that
Right. I know I've seen it, but I
yeah.
can't think of one either. But I do
Well,
too, because the
but like I know we're going to have a page in the Ultra Cool collection that will be about the stunt we did at the beginning of this Kickstarter, which was the Secret Valentine.
yep.
And I think that worked really well. I'm very happy with the way the Secret Valentine came out. But believe me, David and I almost did not do the Secret Valentine stunt because we couldn't figure out what the Valentine was going to look like. And at first I thought, oh, we'll do these, like a little drawing that kind of looks like the sort of Valentine kids give each other. And it'll be cute and, kind of retro and nostalgic. And I was sketching in my sketchbook and they just were not working. It was not clicking for me. And then I thought, well, maybe we'll do like a love comic cover. And that was not necessarily a bad idea, but it was a really complex idea. And we were coming up on our deadline pretty fast. And then I hit on what did become the Secret Valentine. And as soon as I sketched it out, I said, this is going to work. And so we'll include the lead ups to that in the
Okay.
collection. So you'll see what we did not use, and I'll try to explain why.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. I enjoyed the Secret Valentine thing. Um,
I enjoyed it too. It was a lot of fun. It was fun
because
to just kind of
Valentine
play around with Valentine's Day that way.
well, Valentine's Day is like not my holiday for reasons that I don't feel like getting into now because people who listen to this know it comes up
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to depress you. Um,
Thank you, Dad.
anytime there's something that actually makes me smile on Valentine's Day is really nice and you you were one of the people that accomplished that. I mean, my wife always accomplishes it, but
Oh, there you go.
in part because she knows how hard of a day it is for me. We actually celebrate pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training, which is always right around the same time.
Very good.
Last year,
Very good.
it was great. Last year, she managed to find, or maybe it's a couple of years ago, but she found a heart-shaped box of chocolates that was also a baseball, so it had like stitches.
Oh, I see. Sure, sure, sure.
She really leans into it for me, and I appreciate that.
So
Um,
you're a big baseball fan?
oh yeah,
Oh,
baseball. I actually probably fell in love with baseball. Well, I fell in love with comics and then drifted from comics when I was young. But when I fell in love with baseball, I never went away.
this is my book that I'm reading right now.
Johnny
Come sliding
Ooh,
home, the pre-Civil
nice.
War baseball boom, or the
Nice.
post-Civil War. It's
So you're a baseball guy too?
I am not a huge baseball fan. I'm not
Okay.
a huge sports fan, but
I'm not a
early
sports
baseball
fan. I'm a
fascinates me.
baseball fan.
Okay, but for some reason, early baseball really fascinates me, and
It
I
is.
actually know why it fascinates me. There was a point where I was reading. I don't even know what I was reading about, but they said that early baseball players were considered just a little bit above thugs,
Yeah.
and so it was really looked down on.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was really fascinating.
One of one of the
So, anyways,
things
I got
that
really
made
fascinated with
yeah,
early baseball.
no, one of the things that made the American League different when it started up is they didn't allow beer sales at the game. They
Yeah.
were deliberately trying to be the family experience.
Right. And there's a lot of talking here about how they and I'm sure it's the American League, like you're talking, or at least what it was at the time, where
Well, that was like
newspaper.
1901, so that's all before that, what
Yeah.
you're
So,
reading.
but in
Yeah.
this time period, newspapers would always to like show how respectable baseball was. They would always report how many women came to the game, because then it must be respectable if the
That's right.
gals in there.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know.
Oh, yeah. No, early baseball is a trip. No, I had to ask because we actually have I was pleased to discover how much actual baseball geekery there is crossover with comics people, and for that matter, with baseball people to comics. So we have an
Interesting.
annual baseball and comics um roundtable around Thanksgiving,
Really? Okay.
where Rob Nyer and Derek Gold, who are both baseball writers, always join us, and Heidi McDonald and Mark Chiarello always
Really
join us.
interesting.
And we've had Scott Snyder, we've had Chris Cantwell and his son always come up with trivia for us because his son is a baseball geek. So Cooper will come up with the baseball trivia
Cooper,
to
good
give.
name for him.
Yeah, Cooper will come up with the baseball trivia for the comics people, and Chris will come up with the comics trivia for
For the
the
baseball
baseball
people.
people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I've been collecting the list of names of baseball geeks in comics. So I always have to ask if it comes up.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you
Oh,
back burner because I know somebody. He hasn't told me what he's doing, but somebody who's knows that I'm a baseball geek who wasn't able to make the roundtable this year, but around the same time set out. I'm percolating on a project. I can you give me a list of the people you know who love baseball and comics? Because I need to.
yeah, like everyone else, I actually do have a comic book idea that would be based around early baseball.
I think that I think baseball is one of the things that American comics, if they ever really discovered, could just mine for massive amounts of
Could be,
drama.
yes.
If I mean, manga does sports comics in general pretty
Yeah,
well, but their baseball comics are ridiculous. You know,
interesting,
there's
interesting.
so much that can go in. I mean, if you're just talking a game, there's just so much nuance between moments because it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
work on a strict clock, that sort of thing. But if you're not talking the game, there's just such a rich history. Baseball, the story of baseball is the story of the civil rights movement. Baseball, the story of
oh yeah,
baseball is the story of so much of America.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, the Negro League Museum occupies the same museum or same building as the Jazz Museum in Kansas City, and because they're at the location of,
Sure.
I think, something in Vine,
Mhm.
the Basie's Jazz Club used to
Right,
be
right, right.
where Satchel and they go after games to hang
Yeah,
out into the wee hours.
very fun, very fun.
Um, there's always been mobster, well, not always, not as much now, but mobsters around baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, Al Capone used to be seen in the Cubs clubhouse.
yeah,
Um, Half the Negro League teams were owned by numbers runners.
yeah. It's
You
interesting.
know.
Anyways, that was a big digression, but
Yes, it was. Sorry. We need to
no,
get
it's
back to
fine.
Impossible Jones. That's what you're here to pitch.
I
I
thought,
digress
yeah,
easily. You haven't figured that out about me yet, Carl? Uh, where were we? What other additions? We've got our fold out. We've got back matter. We've got
Extra
our
pages.
extra pages, our hot pink bookmark.
Yep.
Um,
We got full color end sheets, full color, full illustrated, I should say. They're not just going to be
yeah.
colored, they'll be illustrated end
I
sheets.
actually who came up with because I love this cover. Um, where she uh like vanishes into it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can only see her arms, legs, and the black and white because
Yeah, the yellow of
back
her outfit blends into the yellow of the
right.
background. And, anyways, I will say I came up with that. But,
Fantastic.
this is, I'll tell you why I came up with this.
Okay.
Because I knew we were doing a collection of these team up stories. And I didn't want a cover that had Impossible Jones and 6 other characters on it. I didn't want that sort of, that seemed really busy to me. And I'm sure there's people like Art Adams who can do that and it looks great. Um, but my instinct, this was just an instinctive reaction, was I wanted something simple. I wanted something that, when you walked by it at a convention or at a bookstore or whatever, it would just jump out at you. And so I kept thinking, I want this simple. I want it to be bold. I want it to be simple. And I'll tell you, the very first idea I had was a cover that would just have Impossible Jones like exclamation mark on the cover.
Okay.
Big exclamation mark against a yellow background. That was my first idea. But then the back of my head was going, I think you're going in the right direction, but that's not all the way there, And somewhere in there, I don't know, I mean, I've seen other people do drawings like this where parts of the characters blend in with the background. And when that idea hit me, then I knew this is the cover. And, I run this all by David. I go, David, what do you think about this? And David will tell me, frankly, no, this is not a good idea, Karl. But when he saw the yellow blending into the background, he goes, this is great. This is going to work. And he drew up a beautiful cover, and then Ryan Cody colored it, and there it is.
I just noticed that you have a package that includes the hardcover of the first volume of Impossible
Sure,
Jones.
sure. The
Now I'm
Impossible
trying to
Gospel.
figure out if I need to up my pledge again.
So you do not have the first
I
hardcover?
do not. I do not.
No.
And it's the Valentine's. See, I got the Valentine.
Oh, this is always a
So,
problem with Kickstarter. If you
so if
run
I
some early
upgrade, I
special
could,
deal,
right.
look,
Will
this
actually, here's the question. Will the hardcover be an add-on? Will the first hardcover be an add-on?
is it already?
I haven't looked at add-ons. Yeah, I'll
I
manage my
don't know if
pledge.
it
You can
is.
keep talking
So,
because
but
you
I
have
think
so many cool extras.
it might be already an add-on, but if it isn't, I could put it on as an add-on.
Yeah.
Then you could add it on. Hang on. I'm going to check real quick. So
We'll both
let
check
me,
together.
yeah, edit. I'm going to have to go into edit, and then I will go to my rewards section. And now I will go to, if it comes up, then I will go to add-ons. Let me see what add-ons we have. We have the t-shirts. No, I do not have a hardcover add-on, but you know what? I could add it on.
Okay. Well, if you do, there's a really good chance that I'll also add it on.
Well, I've had a few people say things like, I would like X, and I go, oh, I should have put that in the add-ons.
Right.
So this is something I definitely will do.
Because
Because
I dropped the ball and I didn't do the Valentine Impossible Gospel with both of them. I
well, see
think
this.
I think I mistakenly thought that you were doing variant covers. I'm so used to variant covers in the market now.
Well, of course, but not on a
That,
hardcover. Yeah, we're not going to do variants on a hardcover.
both Marvel and DC do now. They have
No.
their direct market covers and their bookstore covers.
Now that you say that, I'm helping a little bit with the amalgam omnibus that's coming out
Right.
soon, or so later this year at least.
Right.
And
It has two different covers.
it has 2 covers. I
Right.
was shocked because that's going to be like a book that's over $100.
Right. Well, and those are the only ones that they do the multiple covers on.
Someone has a lot more money than me, is all I can say.
And essentially what it is the direct market can get both. I mean, it's essentially a gift to comic shop owners because the
Right.
direct market can order either cover, but like
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, Amazon, whatnot can only get one of them.
Right.
Uh, but yeah,
And
so I just made the mistake and like thought you had two covers and ordered the one that I thought was cooler.
oh, I see why you made the mistake. Okay, no, I will. I will just for you, Tim. Just for you. Later today, I will go in and add the
The other
first
cover.
Impossible Jones, which is called Grin and Gritty, Impossible
Yeah.
Jones Volume One, Grin and Gritty, and I will add that as an add-on. So people like you, because this is the problem, is that when someone supports the book and gets the Secret Valentine, or
Right.
supports the book and gets an early backer special where they get a special stick or something, then if after those deals end, they want to change their pledge.
It's hard
Kickstarter's
to.
going to forget that you originally were a
Right.
secret Valentine backer. They're going to forget
Right.
you were an early backer, and that
Right.
is a big problem. I
Well,
have
it's another place where knowing how to set up. I mean, we talked about this a little off air. Knowing how to set up add-ons
right.
and I mean, I literally wound up having a guy change stuff while we were talking to him because he's like, "Wait a minute, I can do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've seen other projects that can do it." And while we're talking, he's like, "Oh wow, okay, now there's add-ons for
Yeah, yeah,
um." And it's a shipping issue too because it's like knowing how to set it up so that it doesn't, that it appropriately affects shipping.
yeah. Now shipping. Yeah, we can talk. I can bore you for hours with tales about shipping. Yeah, because that is I would say
It's a
that's my
challenge.
least. It's my least favorite part of the whole thing.
It's a
Because
challenge.
really, if you really want to be fair with everybody, you have to sit down and BackerKit, which I use for fulfillment. BackerKit does allow you to do this. You can go
Right.
in and list the weight of absolutely everything. And so when someone orders something, it automatically adds up the weight and says, well, for this much weight, this is what the postage will be. I mean,
Right.
that can't, but I don't want to weigh everything. And what about, just the little sticker that's like
Right.
a tenth of an ounce? You know what
Right.
I mean? And
Right.
I can't do that. I just can't do
Yeah.
that.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
um and it's always funny to see, some people, choose a price, and I've seen people who choose a price to have the shipping up front, and when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I essentially took all of my profit and put it in the difference in shipping. And
I
then
have
there are
lost
other people that are like, no, we're just gonna shipping gets added at the end. You're paying for the product and shipping is
That's what I do. It seems to work out better for me at least.
yeah,
But early on, I think my very first Kickstarter, I lost a lot of money on shipping
yeah,
because I just did not know what I was doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it's a hard thing. Like my favorite band has a new album coming out, and I try to pre-order my vinyl through them.
Oh,
And
you're a vinyl guy.
yeah,
You should talk to
I
Ron Randall.
I
Ron Randall.
never stopped being a vinyl guy.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I have thousands of CDs too, but I never stopped being a vinyl guy. And my favorite thing about the digital music revolution is that it's also brought vinyl back. Because
Yeah.
because here's the thing. What makes vinyl great, aside from the fact that if it's in good condition and you have good enough equipment and you have a good enough ear to tell the difference, it's the best.
Right.
Those are a lot of ifs. Lots of people who say that they only do vinyl can't actually hear the difference or don't have good enough equipment to be able to hear the difference or whatever. But it's the most tactile.
Sure.
It's a different thing to put your record on the turntable
Right.
than to put a CD in or pick a song digitally.
Yeah.
It's a different thing to look at vinyl liner notes or foldouts or
Oh, all of those. Yeah, that's what I miss is those, I mean, I used to back in the 80s, I would get XTC's singles. Do you know the
right.
band
I
XTC?
do.
And their singles were fold-outs with puppet shows and they put a lot of work into the single packaging and it was astounding.
I gotta tell you, the one album that isn't available on vinyl yet that I desperately want on vinyl, Indigo Girls, who I like to begin with, but Jaime Hernandez did the album art
Oh,
for um I always forget the name of the album. I have the CD somewhere because Jaime Hernandez did the album art.
I did not know that.
All that was all that we let in. Here, I'll share my screen really quick from their website. And I
Mhm.
so
Oh, look
want
at that.
that in the big vinyl. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
essentially Maggie on tank with a crazy face.
Yep. I like it. It's great.
Yeah. It's
I did not know that. That's
yeah.
very interesting.
He used to do a lot of album art for like underground LA punk bands too.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did an Indigo Girls album, but to my knowledge, it still hasn't been released on vinyl. So the
Interesting.
only version that you can get that album art is like the 5 inch.
That is a crime. That is a
It
crime.
is, isn't it? But yeah, but when I hit, going back to the shipping and when I hit the checkout, it's like I was already at like $60 because I had the single and the album. It's like $20 more in shipping. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. But it's like, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this, by the way, also for anybody who wonders why people get upset when shipping magnates get put in start charge of the post office. The post office is a service that it's not supposed to make a profit. It's supposed to
Right.
make it so that people can get things to each other.
Right.
Public service announcement. Not with guitars because I don't play one. That was a little Shelly Bond toss out because
Okay. Okay.
She loves Joe Strummer, so I can't say public service announcement anymore without thinking the Clash. This is a public
The
service
class.
announcement
Sure.
with
Certainly.
guitars. So I know you're running up on time.
Yeah, I am. Unfortunately, I'm
What's
gonna have to see if I can get going.
yeah, no problem. What's next on the horizon for you? Do you have anything that
Well, I'm
you
just doing
want to talk
Impossible
about?
Jones right now. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we do have an outstanding Kickstarter for Section Zero 1959 that Tom Grummett and I are doing together, and Tom has
Okay.
12 pages left to draw, and
Okay.
and he promises me 1 page a week for the next 12 weeks.
Very
So
cool.
if that happens, we can finish that book this year, and I that's my goal. That is going to happen. Let me put it that way. That is going to happen. We are going to finish
Yeah.
this book this year. But other than finishing Section 059, working on Impossible Jones, I got no time. I got
Well,
two
yeah.
small kids, and I got a wife that likes to see my face every so often.
What?
So
What? You
yeah,
have family responsibilities?
and
I
my
thought
yeah,
cartoonists got handcuffed to drawing tables and
they
only
do.
let free when it was time to ship things.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's that old saying, find a job you love and you never work a day in your life. But recently, I heard a different version, whereas find a job you love and you'll work every day of your life and evenings and weekends and holidays too.
Sounds
And
about
I
right.
think that's very true.
At, at, at least you're more likely to enjoy it and
Oh yeah,
not
I'm
scream
not going to
at the
complain
moon.
about that. I
Yeah.
really enjoy my job a lot,
Yeah.
but there never is enough hours in the day for it. Never.
Carl, I always love it when you take one of them out to talk with us. I get
It's
to
always
meet
my
again.
pleasure.
Tyler's off doing a job. So yeah, no, we'll have to get together again sometime soon, or maybe
All
even
right, but
just randomly talk comics that we love. Because
I always enjoy that. That would be
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And yeah, just anyone who's interested in Impossible Jones, it's a real easy to find. It's just impossiblekickstarter.com. It's real. It takes you right to the Kickstarter page.
And
And
it's a fantastically fun story.
thank
Um,
you.
I wouldn't call it quite all ages, but really, really close, and certainly for all sorts of demographics. You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah. I
love
mean,
this.
there's some swearing in it, but I
Right,
redact the swearing. And I will tell
right.
you, I have a 11-year-old son, and he gets great pleasure out of figuring out what is redacted.
Of
He gets
course.
great pleasure out of it.
Well, mostly for me to call something all ages, I mean the two we brought up one of them before, and you have art from the artist on the other one. The two that I'll go to immediately are Bandit and Bo. but for all ages, it's not that there's nothing bad for young ages or whatnot. It's that a
Yeah.
2-year-old will actually find something they enjoy, and
Right.
so will a 90-year-old and
That's
everybody in between.
that's hard.
That's
It's
a
difficult.
really incredibly. So what I'll say is, I think Bandette, or not Bandette, Impossible Jones, about 8 and up, will find something
Okay.
to enjoy.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that
Some
and run with
precocious 4-year-olds, but about 8 and up, about
Yep.
eight and up are gonna love this comic. So you can enjoy it with your younger kids. You can use it as hey, read this. You don't think
Yeah.
you like reading? Read this. Um, and
Well, I
cool.
have to say that would be my ultimate goal. I have to say my son is not a big reader. So when he does read Impossible Jones comics, partly to figure out the redacted words,
Yeah.
I figure I won that battle.
Hey, comics are. I mean, comics are a great gateway drug, as Art Spiegelman famously called them, a gateway drug
Yeah.
to literacy. Um, B, there's actually studies they have more unique words.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
They
I
have
don't doubt
more
that.
they have more unique high level words than so they're not just a gateway drug. They are reading. People who know
Yeah.
reading know
No,
that.
I have to say the first time I heard the word scintillating was in a comic book, a
Right.
Stan Lee comic book.
Yep. Well, I
You
mean,
know,
when you're mixing words and pictures and have to be economical with your words so you don't get in the way of the pictures, you got to pick the right ones.
oh, you got to do, yeah,
You know.
exactly.
So again, Karl Kesel and the Impossible Jones, Volume 2, Ultra Cool Collector's Edition is kickstarting now. This has been 22 Panels, and we'll see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.